cut it. Now, granted, Jokic can be dishing the ball out all he wants, and when you have Austin Rivers, Marcus Howard, and Monte Morris and Paul Millsap and all them missing threes, like I understand Jokic is doing his job, but if Jokic can't make the shot for them, they got to do what they want to.
Welcome back Up Next Show fans. I'm Marcus Bailey. This is my co-host Deliso, and we're back bringing you another banger. Today, we're going to be talking about Game 2 of the Suns and Nuggets, giving a recap of Game 1 and giving our analyzation for Game 2. As you may know, the Suns defeated the Nuggets 105-122. So, Deliso, what is your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts on Game 2?
Thank you, Marcus. So I just want to say, starting off, hopefully y'all watched that Game 1 video that we talked about. And I just want to say, what did we see Game 1? What did I tell you? What did I tell you, Marcus? I told you I couldn't pick the Nuggets in here because I didn't know how the role players would play. I didn't know if they could replicate what they did against the Blazers because we know how bad the Blazers defense is. I didn't know if they could do that. And let me tell you this, Austin Rivers, Marcus Howard, Monte Morris, all backup guards besides Campazzo. Campazzo went 3 for 6 from 3. They would have combined 2 for 10 from 3. That's not going to work. They have to be better. They have to get better. 2 for 10 from 3 against his Suns team that shoots lights out. Come on now. Now, early on, look. Michael Porter Jr., he fell off towards the end of the game, and Jokic. They were getting their buckets. They had combined for 20 points at a point, I think, in the second quarter, and everyone else had chipped in about 5, maybe 6 points. Aaron Gordon played good, and the defense on Booker, I like how he defended him. He made him work for it, which is why Booker only had 21, but Booker had an easy 21. But the Suns team as a whole, when they have 5 starters in double figures, Jay Crowder is the only one who didn't hit 20 plus. He had 14. But 4 out of the 5 starters are getting 20 plus. You're not winning that game. Mikal Bridges, he played phenomenal. I love what he was doing. And we had a CP3 sighting. I said 80% healthy Chris Paul is enough to beat this Nuggets team without Jamal Murray. And I feel bad for the Nuggets because with Jamal Murray, the Nuggets could do some damage. They could arguably make the finals in the West without the Lakers. But CP3 took over. You see CP3 in the second half, he was cooking. Looks like CP3 of old. You see CP3, I forgot who he had on him. But you see Austin Rivers on the sideline. He's not just talking about he's going to bring it up here and go crossover real quick, shoot the 3. That's exactly what CP3 did because Austin Rivers used to play with CP3. He knows how he works. And he studied up on game. CP3 looked at Austin Rivers and just smiled. He made the 3, of course. CP3 is like that, and he's back. The Lakers were lucky they didn't go up against CP3 how he is now. This Suns team is cooking right now. This Suns team is in full form. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. But I'm not gonna say it. This is not gonna be like the Bucks series, how they're down 2-0 and I'm saying it's over. Even if the Suns go up 2-0. I like what the Nuggets can do at home. Go back to Denver at high altitude. I like their home court advantages. But I just don't. I'm not going to say it's over if the Suns win tonight. But I do believe the Nuggets have to have a better showing, especially from the 3-point line and their bench, if they want to have a chance. If they want to have a chance to win Game 2.
Yeah, Delisa, I want to piggyback off some of those points. But like I said, the first point I want to bring up is like I said before. In the regular season, we saw Jamal Murray having to carry the scoring load for the Suns. I mean, for the Denver offense. Like I said, Jamal was putting up 30-point games, high 20-point games. They didn't have that. I expected Michael Porter Jr. to step up. He only had 15. Of course, he's getting his buckets in the early game, but late game is where it's at. We all know that. And I want to say this. Both these teams did not play exceptionally well defense. Both teams were getting buckets. So it's going to come down to who has the less turnovers, which the Suns did, who's doing the dirty work, getting rebounds, hustling, and who can stretch the lead. Now,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I will say when the Suns went on, I think that 19-2 run toward the end of the third, the defense was looking impeccable. They were playing shut down.
But over on the game, no one had outstanding defense. But like I said, it's about who's going to get that lead and stretch it. I think at the beginning of the first quarter, throughout the second quarter, no one really. I think the Denver had a lead going into halftime, but it wasn't a far lead into the third quarter where the Suns stretched it out and then kind of coasted off that. I think Ayton played exceptionally well on Jokic. I think he did a fairly good job. Jokic in the playoffs is top 3 in scoring with averaging about 32 points a game, even though that was on the Portland defense, which is not up to par. That's still good. You're dropping 32 points. And he only had 22. He only had 22 this game. I was surprised Ayton was able to even hold him to that. But when it comes down to this, Daliso said the role players didn't step up, and to an extent they didn't. Not Michael Porter. Austin Rivers didn't have a great game. I think he only had 7 points. But if you look at it, the Denver Nuggets bench outscored the Suns bench 29-3. It was the starters that made a difference. And in the playoffs, when the rotation shortens and only 8 players are getting on the court from a team in the entire game, 8 to 9 players, is going to come down to those starters, especially when it gets to the later rounds, and when you're playing better competition. So I think the Nuggets need to get out to a lead. If they want to win this game, need to get out to a lead. They need to stretch the lead and need to contain it. And like I said, Jokic needs to get his other players involved in the game and use his playmaking, and needs to find a way to use his playmaking and scoring hand in hand and get his role players into the game, or it's going to be a repeat of game 1 coming up today.
Yes, I believe that. And look, I said Jokic is going to have to be phenomenal to win, for the Nuggets to win the game. For the Nuggets to win this series. And 22, 9 rebounds and 3 assists is not going to cut it. Now, granted, Jokic can be dishing the ball out all he wants. And when you have Austin Rivers, Marcus Howard, and Monte Morris and Paul Millsap and all them missing threes, like I understand Jokic is doing his job, but if Jokic can't make the shot for them, they got to do what they want to. The role players have to step up. And hats off to Jokic. He officially won the MVP. But we all know a healthy Embiid is the best center in the NBA. And had Embiid not gotten hurt, Embiid is winning that award. But Jokic had an MVP season, a phenomenal year. Stop it. Jokic had a phenomenal season, and he earned the MVP. But like you said, DeAndre Ayton, I'm loving what I'm seeing from him this playoff. He's having a coming out party, which sounds weird because he's a former number 1 overall pick. But he's in a class with Luka. We know what Luka did as soon as he came to the league. Trae Young, what he's been doing in these playoffs. And I can't forget about Colin, young bull Sexton. Now, even though Cal's looking a little bad, wait for Colin. He's going to be one of the top scorers in the league. Let Cal start being a winning team. But, yeah, look, DeAndre Ayton, he came in as a guy give you 14 and 10. 14 and 10. I told you beginning of the year, Marcus. I told you DeAndre Ayton, the top 5 center in the NBA, arguably. And now he's playing into that. He's playing into that role. I don't know. I only know 4 centers better than him in the NBA right now. Jokic, Embiid, Rudy Gobert, and Bam Adebayo. I could give DeAndre Ayton that 5. I could give him that 5 spot. That's debatable. But look, Yusuf, stop it. Couldn't even help the Bulls with Zach LaVine. Stop it. But look. He's been balling in these playoffs, and it's not like he's going up against scrubs. He's been going up against the best of the best. We saw what he did against Anthony Davis. Now, he didn't shut him down. Don't get me started on that.
AD shut himself down.
Stop it. AD shut himself down and injuries. But DeAndre Ayton still played good on the offensive end and still got bored. He outplayed Drummond, though. And in that game, he outplayed Jokic. Jokic had a subpar game. Jokic is going to have to be better, and I'm going to need to see more from these role players if the Nuggets want to make this a series. Will Barton is coming back tonight. I can't remember the last time he played. I don't know if PJ Dozier is out for the year. We know Jamal Murray's situation, but I hope Will Barton makes an impact, and I hope he doesn't get injured again because the Nuggets are going to need him.
Yeah. All right. So just before I wrap things up, like I agree with most of the points that Lisa said. I expect Cameron Payne to also have. He didn't really have a great game. First game. I think he should have a good game. Mikal Bridges with 50% from the 3-point. I expect him to have another good game. I got the Suns winning this one.
I gotta go with I got the Nuggets in a bounce back. I believe the role player. No. I got the Suns. Nuggets will bounce back game 3. And I believe Nuggets will win the next 2 at home.
I think the Suns will win this game. I think they'll lose a first game at home, but the Suns are winning in 6 regardless. But thanks, guys, for watching another video of Next Show. If you haven't already, go down there, click that subscribe button, go in the comments, give us some suggestions, and we'll be back with another video later. See you later.